court is going to call 2021 CR 2710, State of Texas versus Marcus Lewis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense?
Kimball Barber for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Mr. Lewis, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
What you're charged with in the indictment is assault family second offense. The range of punishment for that third-degree felony is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence and $100 to an approved family violence center. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution, the BIPP course, and no harmful or injurious contact with Brianna Miller. And that's BREANNA. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State offers State's Exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just that he requests the opportunity to show the court that he can do better and go follow the plea today.
All right, how old are you, Mr. Lewis?
24.
All right, so this is the second family violence case you've had. What are your issues?
I really don't know. Actually, yes, I do know. I've been out of a job and it's causing me and my girl to fight a lot. But I recently came up on a carpenting job and hopefully us not being around each other and me being on Instagram and social media, it'll help me out.
All right, well, I read the report and it seems like there was this big blow up or fight because she told you one of the children was not your biological child.
No.
What does that mean?
That is not what happened.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Mr. Lewis. I'm just going by what I've read. These are what are called stipulations. And what I read was the officer was dispatched to the listed location for an assault in progress. Upon my arrival, I contacted the victim. The victim stated that she had an argument with the suspect. You're the suspect. The suspect was upset because she informed him that one of the children did not belong to him. And my understanding from reading this report, there's a 2-year-old and there's a 4-month-old. So here's the thing, Mr. Lewis, if somebody tells you you're not the biological father of a child, if you're angry, you know what you leave? You walk away and you leave, and then you go get an attorney and you get a DNA test, but you don't put your hands on people in anger. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So on that day, you ruined the day for a 4-month-old and a 2-year-old because according to the victim in this case, they had a doctor's appointment. So instead of doing their doctor's appointment and everybody being calm, they had chaos in their household. And what ended up happening is their mom calling the police. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have that time. And then we have a previous one, because you're here for assault family second. And the previous one was from County Court 13. Who was the complainant in that case?
It was the same person.
Okay, it seems to me that your relationship is not working out. Your fault, her fault, whoever fault it is, which is it's your fault for putting hands on people in anger. You guys probably should not be together. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am. They were at one point, but we finished the case.
And does the complainant know about this agreement, Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, Your Honor. She asked that the case be dismissed, but she's aware that the state had an obligation to proceed.
All right, you want to talk about this no harm or injurious contact? Because I don't think he should have contact with her until he's done at least some courses with the BIPP course.
Your Honor, the state's agreement was, or recommendation was based on her uncooperativeness, but I understand the court's concern. And so obviously we're going to defer to the court. We understand that that's outside the plea bargain agreement, but was just a recommendation with the state.
I do believe that they live together, Your Honor.
All right, so I mean, he's gonna have to find another place to live. Mr. Lewis, here's the thing. This is the second time that you've had a criminal case because of your inability to not put your hands on someone in a loving way, right? So I don't know what the issue is in your household. I don't know if it's a fact of you personally don't know how to solve a problem through conversation in a peaceful manner, or is it you both don't know how to act in a peaceful manner? I don't know. But what I do know is your actions become violent, and that's a no-go.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you have somewhere else to live?
Yes, ma'am.
And who will you be living with?
A friend of mine, another carpenter, coworker.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, before I do that, Mr. Lewis, how far did you go in school?
I made it to the 11th grade.
Why didn't you graduate?
I was adopted, and the lady who adopted me, she put me out of her house, and I just stopped going to school.
Why were you put out of the house?
Not sure, really. I was kind of a bad, I guess you would say, a bad child, but I mean,
Were you adopted through foster care system?
No, I was adopted as a kid, and it wasn't through foster care.
Okay. All right, so what do you want to do with the rest of your life?
Continue carpeting.
Okay. All right, so this is what the court is going to do. Court has sentenced you to a $1,500 fine that will be probated. 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, $100 to a approved family violence center, 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide the proof that you've obtained the COVID vaccination that includes the booster. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do, you'll receive credit. The BIPP course, there's to be no in-person contact with Brianna Miller. So they can talk to each other on the phone. They can text each other, Instagram, or whatever young people do, because I do realize they have young children. But that contact you have with her had better not be abusive. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Understand.
And do you understand that you're not to have in-person contact with her? So that means you can't go to her house. You guys are not getting together for Valentine's or any of that. I may reconsider my order after you've done some BIPP courses, but other than that, that's the only contact. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
So if you want to send her a Valentine's Day card, you can do that. You just can't drive by and drop flowers off, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Parenting classes, I want a MIC evaluation. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. And Ms. Ward, I'll reconsider that once he's completed the parenting classes.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's to be regular UAs or patch, regular Zoom reporting or in person, random field visits 2 times per month. And if you complete your carpentry trade and get a certificate in that, I'll waive the remaining of your community service hours.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll also waive the remaining if he completes parenting classes. But you must complete parenting classes no matter what. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am. Is that MIC evaluation in or out of custody?
Out of custody.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful, Mr. Lewis?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Lewis, I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody else who has these violence cases. Before you are ready for a relationship, you know what you need to do? You need to go to HEB or Walmart or one of these stores. Right now, I think HEB is having a sale on their orchids. Get an orchid. When you get it from the grocery store, the blooms are all on it, right? It comes into your office, it looks fabulous. And then the blooms fall off. Keep that orchid. Once the blooms fall off, keep it until it blooms again. And if that happens, you just may be ready for a relationship. And I can say this because let me show you this. For Boss's Day, my staff got me this orchid. It was so beautiful. That's been 3 years ago. I'm holding on to it, trying to figure out what part of the office it likes. And I actually have a green thumb. But with orchids, you have to be very gentle with them. Sometimes they don't like it in the sunlight, or if you move them too much, they won't bloom. It requires a lot of patience to get an orchid to bloom again. So just do that. I'm not trying to belittle, family violence or anything. But if you get an orchid and you're able to get it bloomed twice, and trust me, it takes a lot of patience. That will help you be patient in your life, not just in your relationships, but your intimate relationships, but also in your relationships at the job or wherever you may be. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Lewis. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you for giving me another chance.
All right. You're welcome. Are you Mr. Lewis? Mr. Lewis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and states motion to supplement pending motion to revoke probation. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Marcus Pierre Lewis who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 2710 for the offense of assault, family second offense on February 11, 2022 for a term of 6 years? Is that you? State?
Violated condition number 4 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Marcus Pierre Lewis defended their failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of May 2022 and June 2022 in violation condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreements to deny the state's motion and alternate amendment conditions of the motion to include mixed supervision. He has previously had a mental health assessment, and so my understanding probation is already, and that's their recommendation, is ready to take him with
All right, is any GPS needed or no?
Based on allegations, Judge.
Okay. All right, is that the agreement, Mr. Alamon?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Lewis, I'm going to follow the agreement. I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions for mixed supervision. And also I'm going to ask for GPS, and we're going to do GPS for 60 days to make sure that you're reporting, okay? And so I'll ask that the fees be waived. Do you have a place to live if you're released?
So for now.
Okay, so we're going to do Haven for Hope. Do you have any family here? Where's your family?
Houston and New Orleans.
All right, so do you want to be in Houston or New Orleans? Which place would you prefer to be? All right, so I'm going to ask for him to be considered for transfer to Houston. What is that, Travis? No, that's not Travis. Harris County. I'm sorry, I'm used to dealing with parishes. All right. So I'm going to ask for a transfer to Harris County.
Your Honor, for the GPS, is that passive or?
I'm sorry? Yes, tracking.
Okay.
All right.
Until transfer, correct?
Yes, until transfer. All right, Mr. Lewis, good luck to you. When you need help, you got to reach out and ask for it. You understand? Nobody can offer you help if they don't know that you need it. All right, good luck to you. All right, are parties ready to proceed on the motion to revoke?
Yes.
We're ready, Judge.
Maria, you ready? All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2710, State of Texas versus Marcus Pierre Lewis. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Lewis.
And are you Marcus Lewis? All right, did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Marcus Pierre Lewis who's placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 2710 for the offense of assault, family second offense on February 11th, 2022? I'm sorry, for the 11th day of February 2022 for a term of 6 years. Is that you? All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, we're proceeding on violation of condition number 2 that on or about the 3rd day of February 2023 in Harris County, Texas, the defendant Marcus Pierre Lewis, defendant there illegally used a controlled substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Also, proceeding on one more condition, violation of condition number 4, that in Bear and or Harris County, the defendant Marcus Pierre Lewis, defendant there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of June, July, August, September, and October. August, September, and October 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We waive the rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objections, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation 2 and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 2 and 4? Court will find violations 2 and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is.
Yes.
The proposed agreement is revocation and for him to be sentenced to 4 years TDC, Your Honor.
All right. Is that the proposed agreement?
It is, Judge.
All right. Anything you wish to say, Mr. Lewis?
I would like a second chance on probation. I'm homeless. I don't really have.
I can take you under oath. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Marcus Lewis.
All right, Mr. Lewis, I understand what you were beginning to say, but this is the second time we've been here for you not reporting. All you have to do is pick up the phone and report. And the last time you were here in October 2022, I denied the motion. I altered them in conditions for mixed supervision, GPS for 60 days. I had the fees of GPS waived. And wanted to do Haven for Hope, but you asked to be transferred to Houston because you had family there. You were transferred to Houston. And it amazes me that you can't find a place to stay, but you can find people to smoke marijuana with. When if there was an issue with you not having a place to stay, all you had to do was pick up the phone and call your probation officer. And I know that I tell people, especially when they have another motion to revoke in front of me, I definitely tell them that if there's any issue with your probation officer, you can just come back to the court or call the court instead of coming back to me and asking for mercy from the court, which I believe is what you're doing when you haven't followed through on anything. If you didn't want to end up going to prison, all you had to do was report. That's it. You had a choice to make. Do I use marijuana and potentially go to prison, or do I not? You made a choice. You chose to use marijuana. Do I report and not go to prison, or do I don't report and potentially go to prison? These are choices you made. And how old are you?
27.
You're 27. And so because of the homelessness issues you had, I took that in consideration, and you're still not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Your attorney has worked out a great deal for you for the 4 years, because honestly, I was going to sentence you on the higher end of what was being asked. Now, there have come to an agreement for 4 years. Do you want to court to follow that agreement? Are you waiving your right to appeal? All right, the court then is finding 2 and 4 true. The court is going to grant the motion, sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. All right, I know there was a previous agreement for him to pay $100 to the Family Violence Center. He doesn't have any money for that.
We're finding that.
All right. And there's to be no contact with Brianna, Breanna Miller. I'll ask for the therapeutic community. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
We can go off the record. Here's the thing. If you don't have a place to stay, they have plenty of places for you to stay. And especially with your drug issues. And I know people think marijuana isn't a problem, but in the state of Texas, it's illegal. So they will take you into inpatient treatment. That'll give you a place to stay to get your head together. I'm going to request that you be placed in the therapeutic community. It won't increase the time that you're in custody at the jail or at the prison. But when you get at the prison, stop your thoughts from racing, get clean and sober at the prison. Don't get involved where you're using drugs at the prison, and figure out who you are, clean and sober, and make a plan so you won't end up going back to prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, I love the suit.
Thanks, Judge. Thank
My
you.
mom always says, you know what? Seersucker, great. It's great for the weather.
It is. Yeah, especially when it's 100 degrees.
Oh, yeah.